Hey guys, Tom here. Well, because of the talk I heard, all I can say is I am happy that heaven makes me the day, on the left and the right, without the forces of darkness, shadow, or night, without anything that's um, connects me to any the forces of darkness, shadow, or night, or the other, without the other. Just today, going our own way without the other, and that's our intention. Because after all, no, we're not into the darkness. We don't love them. Heard one of them talking a while ago. One of those obsessed ones, a dark witch, I do believe, who pretends to be of God, of Christ, Jesus. He never teaches anything about Jesus, but always is apparently looking for some way to twist the words in the story to make it fit their situation and see, that because of the story, they can justify, because of that story, their force and their demonic god, the dark god, I don't know, what is he, a dog god, to somehow force us, because we're wrongly motivated, selfish. I think she was saying it. David was being selfish in his motivation, so he was wrong. Okay, these are people that are judging heroes of the God that they proclaim as their own as wrong. They're judging, retroactively judging these characters, and are now going to try and apply it to the Boaz that they've selected. Now, tell me, is it the Boaz or the David or whatever that's not getting with the woman that wants him? Is it that he's being selfish because she was talking about how, well, it's their pride that's getting in the way, and that they're doing well and this and that, and they've got good numbers and this, and they're like, well, I don't know what I really want, and I don't, it's I'm not sure if I would, and so somehow they're supposed to be committed to these women that they'd never made a commitment to. And so somehow she's rationalizing that somehow they're wrong for not committing and not taking them on because of some black dog god that wants them to take on this evil black whore. Well, that's not very godly, you see. And there's nothing in the book that suggests that God, has, on a regular basis, takes evil black whores and witches and makes good, decent people of God to serve them or take them on in any way, as a matter of fact, other than perhaps making them a bondservant. And those people would be subject to beatings or whatever was needed to make sure that they uh, fulfilled their duties as that slave, indentured slave, basically is what it is. But no, there's no way, there's no way. See, the thing is, it's like this: if they're a decent guy, right? Um, well, it's just like this: men are the ones who choose the women they're going to marry. They're the ones who choose the women that they're willing to provide for. Now, they might choose that as in like in a business type of arrangement, but historically speaking, there was an element of love there that would be in this situation, and normally that's what it would be. I mean, if a man needed a wife, wanted to have a wife and have children and build a small estate of some sort or an empire for that matter, through the uses, through bringing up his sons to take over the business and so on. That was a thing. And sometimes those people did that because it was what you could do. Okay. And they were builders of a sort and they were following the pattern. And at the end of it, you had some hopefully loving children there that would be nice to you, because you raised them well and you turned over the estate to them, blah, 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 and all that. So people did that. But past that, still, regardless, it's the man chooses the woman he wants, whether he's in love with her or it's a business arrangement of sorts. It's not the woman who chooses. Naomi didn't bring Ruth into the field and say, now go choose Boaz and make that dumbass marry you. No, you're an evil black whore witch who's looking for a way to manipulate the situation or the man. and that inherently is evil, and thus God will not award a husband to you unless it's already somebody who God's not interested in and doesn't care about, who's forsaken God and doesn't love God. Now, that's the kind of men who will come along and marry a witch. But otherwise, no, you can't force any man to marry you. You can't find any verse or anything in the book that says God gets angry with a man because he doesn't go and take on some woman that he's not even interested in. Or worse still yet, has every reason to believe that she's working for the enemy. She is actually the enemy of God. She's a willing vessel of demons, a willing, wanton whore, a harlot of Satan himself. No, I don't think God, the good God of light and life, whom I serve, would ask any such thing of me. He's not asking me to take on any darkness. He's not asking me to do business with the darkness. You see, I'm not given to darkness. And the darkness is not my family. You can go on all day long about how, oh, the darkness is, you got to have the darkness to have the light. No, you don't. Light has no need of darkness whatsoever. And, if they would leave me alone completely, I probably would have been completely gone from material altogether, proving I had no need of darkness whatsoever. The only reason that any kind of darkness would be necessary, I think, is probably just because you're in the material. But I'm guessing it's not needed. It's really not needed. Probably it provides something that more likely would be considered a luxury. Something that's perhaps nice to have, but not needed. So, again, rather than trying to find, again, still another way to force the situation and say that you're going to be married to and they have to take you on whenever you don't perform as a wife and you don't do as a wife and you are not as a wife, have you taken vows? Because no vows were taken. Okay? A man, because he slept with a woman, owed her nothing. That's why there was all these laws about marriages and stuff, and people, why they wanted marriage and why it was honored so, and why people were, in a sense, ostracized if they divorced. And there was all kinds of social ramifications and consequences to not going along with the pattern and being a good person and being a part of the social scene and not being a black magic witch off on the side, involved in all kinds of nefarious stuff, undermining the society itself. Is any of this clearing anything up? That all of it only could work if everyone on board basically was on board with the program. That's how society worked. And it was a Christian society. It wasn't an African society where, there was, 100 different languages or 1,000 different languages, and everybody had their own little customs and cultures. And, you look at that and you go, oh, well, that's diversity, all right. Of course, it only serves to separate all of those people and makes it unable for them to work together and everything. But again, this whole thing of working power and forces from the outside and manipulations and this and that, we're not married. I'm not partnered with Sylvester or Sylvia or Thomas Lee or Christina Noel, or I'm not partnered or married to anything that is of the darkness or anything that's of magic. We don't do magic. We're not guilty of any of that. We're not going to be a partnership because we're not. We're just not going to be that. And you guys really should just let it go, okay? Because we've been the only thing that we've done up to this point basically is try to just be separate. And you really want to just back away from it, because the more you want something bad for me, the more that's coming for you. It's going to be you that gets the bad things, not me. I'll be shielded. That stuff might come at me, but then it'll turn up and back over onto them that sin it. Because I'm naturally defended. I'm the light. I'm of the light. I'm light on my way back to the light. Okay? I'm not here to get married to anything. I'm not here to stay. I'm not here to start a kingdom without my Father in heaven. We're not going to do anything at all or be a part of anything that would cause the light to leave me or to cause me to be disowned by my Father in heaven. The heaven is my goal. It's where I'm going. Ask Dave Mustaine. I'm going for the heavens. A peaceful man stands tall, and I'm a peaceful man. And the Prince of Peace, I invoke and invite and implore to come and live here with me, to eat with me, walk with me, sing with me, and in general, live here through me. And as much as he'd like, and as much as I could get him to do. Because that's what we're about, man. Peace and light. Remember the 60s? You know, they were all about peace and love. Yeah, well, they might as well have been saying peace and light. Because that's really what it's all about. And the more peace you have and the more light you have, the better you're going to feel, and it's just better. And you know what? You can ask for these things. If you're not an evil turkey kind of person who's already forsaken God and said, oh, he can go to, wherever and hate, and you took on all that hate, and you're a disciple of hate. If you went full blast the other way, then you went that way. I don't know if there's any way back, but it'd have to be through some type of servitude, I'm sure, and it'd be about earning a whole bunch of stuff, But give me my stuff back. I understand you still got rope of mine. I want that back. Well, I don't want it. I'm just praying that you bring it back. That you have the good sense to bring it back. So later, it doesn't have to. It'll be a lot better if you volunteer it. And that's one of the things that God looks for: is people to volunteer to do the right things, rather than get all burly and everything and be like, "Well, there's going to be repercussions. I'm going to make things bad for God." And yep, they'll know that we got angry. That's not a good idea. It never works out. I mean, yeah, there's been a lot of stuff that happened that encouraged evil for a long time there, didn't it? But that's ending. That was the play out for so long, and it was a delusion and a fantasy that they were provided. They wanted that, so they were provided that. And now that's over. We're going to be moving on. And thank you very much to all of my enemies and all my friends for helping us to continue climbing and moving up, to continue being, having greater repairs and improvements. And thanks for paying us back for all that you stole from us. And we'll talk to you some other time.